Hey there, welcome back to these Conversations with No One. Welcome back to the fourth conversation, which is more like conversations with someone because I'm usually replying to someone's comment or email. So the other day I received an email from Philip in the UK that really made me think as it hit on several different levels at once. He asked me why his life isn't opening up in wonderful and mysterious ways as it seems is happening with myself and other speakers who seem to be on a similar journey as he is. And I suspect this is a pretty common feeling and also a complicated one because there really isn't a simple answer. Well, there is a simple answer, but it's not one that's very helpful. The simple answer is nothing is happening. But within our experience of duality, it's all perspective. I really can't tell anyone why their life is or isn't unfolding as they expect or desire, or really give advice on how they can change their particular experience. All I can really ever do is share mine and the things I did to find myself here. For me, a big part of the process is seeing the value in whatever is or isn't happening at the time. That means that all of the downtime when nothing seems to be happening and all of the challenges that hijack whatever I would prefer to be doing in that moment. Those are all experienced as valuable and productive time to me. Sure, my character might have ideas and feelings about what he would rather be or should be doing, but he isn't me. The experience of me is now something unknowable that recognizes that my character doesn't understand why every moment is just right. Why my character doesn't understand the value of doing nothing. But this unknowable me accepts accepts the process for whatever it is and for however long things take. And also trust that my character's actions or non-actions all have value. Whatever he's doing is the right thing for him to be doing. So maybe the answer is that everything is always unfolding in wonderful and magical ways, regardless of how they might feel to us at the time. When we don't want anything more than to enjoy the present moment, it becomes enough. Once there, everything even slightly enjoyable that happens is like a cherry on top of the sundae. But when it comes to having interesting experiences in my life, I've also learned that nothing much can happen unless I engage with the world to some degree. Just as true, when my life was crammed full of obligations and expectations, there wasn't much room for life to just happen to me. Part of the reason I began living my nomadic bus lifestyle is so that I would free up my space and my time for stuff to happen. while simultaneously always being slightly outside of my comfort zone. The way I live, I'm forced to interact with the world so that things I never expect keep happening. Some of which immediately feel good, while others might feel bad at first until they play out over time. But things always feel as if they're moving forward in interesting and unexpected ways, even though we know nothing is actually happening. I think the state I'm in now just seems open to all possibilities. And that's despite spending most of my time, if you broke it down, alone, hanging out in my bus. My actions are almost entirely passive, but I also continually open doors to possibility whenever I have the chance. A good example of that are making these videos public or including my email so people can reach out to me. But on a purely dualistic level, whenever I've been at a place where things felt stagnant in my life, or I kept repeating the same unwanted experiences over and over, my default setting was to explore different ways to live that break my habit patterns or provide a certain amount of randomness. I think I've moved a lot in my life because of this, just to break up the cycles and patterns that I was in, the person who I was in those places. And most people I know who feel stuck seem to be looking at cardboard walls of a box they put themselves in, making the same choices in the same way. And so I just try to make choices in a different way than usual. I mean, the human capacity to experience this world is nearly unlimited in its diversity. There's so many ways to live a life in so many different places. And even small changes can produce completely different results. I mean, moving into my bus is a very extreme example of this, but sometimes it's just as simple as saying yes to something you'd usually say no to because you've created a story in your head why you should say no. Situations like that feels to me sort of like creating a fork in your timeline. Moving into a different timeline than the one that was scripted out in front of you. And for me, the key is to not worry about what the results might be, but to enjoy each of the experiences as they unfold, even if they take their own sweet time. I feel even when I'm doing nothing, there's things shifting inside of me at whatever pace I'm ready to shift. And the more I let go of my expectations and my projections, the more wonderful surprises happen to me because I really did expect nothing. I hope something in there made sense to you or was at least helpful to think about. Philip seemed to think so when I replied to him and suggested I make this video, so for the most part it seems to me that a lot of the results or experiences people are seeking on this journey are actually just byproducts of the shift itself. the movement into not identifying with who you think you are. And once the normal paradigm gets flipped on its head, perspective seems to change completely. And when your perspective changes, it changes the way you experience everything. So thanks for listening, for joining me out here today. I hope you have a good one. Take care.